Hey guys, welcome back to Financial Story Hour, where we dive into relatable financial stories to empower you to change your own. First of all, this is the first video I'm uploading since I started making videos, and the rest were all pre recorded. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to sincerely thank everyone who has shared, who has subscribed, and liked the channel. Um, and just in general, everyone who has offered me words of encouragement. It means the world to me. And if you've ever stepped out on an endeavor that you thought people would think you were crazy for, you know how much that encouragement means to me. So I wanted to thank you. So in today's video, we're going to continue our series on cash flow. Last week we talked about income and how sometimes we just we need a bigger shovel going into our account in order to take care of all our needs. But we can swing the other way too, where we start to think that, hey, if I just had more money, it would solve all of my problems. Well, today we're gonna see how that doesn't always work out the way we think it does, and we're gonna take a moment to see what Katie found out when her income doubled. And with that said, it's story time.
6 months ago, I thought my problems were solved. I landed a new job that doubled my salary, and my husband and I dreamed of all the things we could do together. We upgraded my car and took a trip to Disney World, expecting our credit card debt to just melt away. But now we're deeper in debt. I faced the harsh reality: $500 on food delivery, $200 in Amazon purchases, and around $100 in miscellaneous. Not to mention rising car insurance. And those credit card bills from our trip are crushing us. We wanted to travel more and put our son in private school. I earned double what I did last year. How is this happening?
If you think Katie's story is an exaggeration, I'm going to try to link down below to an episode of Ramith I's show where he interviewed a couple who is going through almost this exact same situation. Now, most of us are tempted to think that if I just made X amount of money, all my problems would be gone. The truth is that's usually not the case. And that's because a lot of people haven't done the analysis of their situation and their habits to really get to the bottom of any problems that they have. In fact, the idea terrifies most people. So good on Katie for actually starting to do that analysis. But let's take a closer look at her story and see what we can pull from it. The first thing we see is that they immediately went out and bought a new car just because her take-home pay increased. Now, we don't know if this is a new or used car, but we do know that their car payment went up, their insurance went up, and possibly even the money they spent on gas went up. Next thing I see is that they also went to Disney World and didn't wait to save up the money, but just put it on a credit card. Again, assuming that the new income would take care of that. We also see that she discovers she spent a large amount of money on unnecessary things, unnecessary and unplanned things. And honestly, that's probably a habit she had from her previous income level. So in this case, it wasn't a magical cure-all. It actually exacerbated the problem of overspending on these extra items. And lastly, we get a glimpse into the couple's priorities. Now, Katie says that they want to travel more, and they also want to send their child to private school. These are their stated values, their goals. If you haven't picked up on them yet, here are a few things I would have loved to have gone over with Katie and her husband. First of all, no amount of money is going to magically fix what are actually symptoms of a larger financial system issue. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's that idea that money alone isn't the answer. You need a financial system that works for you and your situation. Second, the first part of any financial system is establishing what your values and your goals are. Ramith I has a great catchphrase that I love. He says, spend extravagantly on things that you value and cut mercilessly in areas where you don't. And essentially the message is, it's okay to spend. Spend on the things that you love, that bring value to your life, that make you smile. But you have to cut mercilessly on the areas that don't matter. Those things that you buy on Amazon that you don't even know where they went because they didn't matter. Now, you could say, well, they went to Disney World. That's part of travel. That's part of their values. And I would just say, yeah, they went on one big trip. Rather than taking the time to assimilate the extra income, they put it all on a credit card, which is now a burden and restricts their ability to travel, restricts their other goals. So it doesn't quite actually meet what they value. Can you imagine the frustration of crunching the new numbers and suddenly realizing that you can't actually afford to send your child to the school that you planned? That would be devastating, especially after a huge win, like a promotion or job change that literally doubled your income. You have to assess your values and your goals up against your current spending. You know what makes that really hard to do? The little black hole we carry around in our pockets called a credit card. Most of us never feel the pain of running out of money because we have this essentially a slush fund that takes away the pain and the hard stop of running out of money. Now, I'm very cautious when it comes to credit cards and debt in general. I know there's a lot of people out there that just say, no way, no go, no how, never. And that's not me. I'm not somebody who is just in favor of cutting up credit cards no matter who you are. But what I will say is that they are very dangerous. The money guys call them chainsaw dangerous, in fact, because you can cut off your own arm even as you're trying to do something useful with them. So, if we're not totally against credit cards, why am I talking about this black hole effect? Think of it like your stomach. So, we eat, and then our body eventually tells us we're full, so we stop eating before we kill ourselves. Now, what if we no longer felt full? What if that nerve that went to our brain suddenly stopped working, and we just ate and ate and ate? Well, that's kind of what credit cards do. And not only credit cards, but also if you have a big pile of money that you use as a slush fund in the background, that can have the same effect because you don't have to feel the pain of running out of money. So let me illustrate this slush fund effect. Let's say that Katie has a loose budget that she tries to follow, and she genuinely wants to stay within her means. Now, she has a certain amount she spends on groceries, but there are a couple of nights where she gets home from work and she's tired. She really doesn't want to cook, so she has food delivered. That accounts for some of that food delivery cost. Now, when she gets to the end of the month, for instance, and there's no more money left, but they're completely out of groceries. They have no groceries, and it's a week until the next payday. Do you think that Katie's going to just say, oh, well, family, I guess we're going to go without groceries for the week? No, she's probably going to go to the grocery store and swipe the credit card, and she's probably going to promise herself that she's going to make it up in the next month. It doesn't always work out that way, though. You see how that credit card, that ability to just swipe the card or transfer the money from a slush fund account can just take away the pain of actually, quote unquote, mishandling your money throughout the month. So what can we do about this? Well, the simple answer is we need to kind of inject that pain back into our financial lives. And I know that sounds bad. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I don't mean literal pain or misery or discomfort. Actually, it's going to be quite the opposite. But the first thing you have to do in your financial life is you have to assess what your values and your goals are. And I'm not just talking about, oh, we want a new car. That is a goal, right? And having safe transportation is a value. But you need to think not only short-term, but mid-term and long-term. So a long-term goal. Do you value independence? If you do, you need to making sure that you are taking care of your retirement. And the earlier the better to start preparing for that. That goes way beyond this video scope, but your midterm goal might be you want a house in a couple of years, or you want to get married, you need to assess what your goals are and then what you value. I value generosity, so I'm going to make sure that's a part of my financial life. I value comfort, so I'm going to make sure that's a part of my life. Again, there's no judgment here what your values are, but you need to understand what yours are before you can start making these changes we're going to talk about. Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in here for a quick second. Now, it's possible that in the far, far distant future, this channel will have sponsors. That day is not today. So instead, I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about a ministry that is near and dear to my heart. And it's not only did my wife and I both serve in this ministry, it's where we met and fell in love. And it's a ministry that we personally support today. So I wanted to introduce you to Glowing Heart Ministries. Over here on their website, it says, God has changed our lives and we have to tell. Because of his goodness, Glowing Heart takes a team of college-age leaders all over the U.S. and sometimes farther, so youth know there is a God that sees, knows, and loves them. We do this through building relationships, worshiping together, and teaching sessions reflective of God and what he has done for everyone. Now, they did not ask me to share any of this, nor am I getting any kind of compensation in return for shouting them out. But if you, like me, believe in supporting a ministry that grows future leaders as well as takes the gospel across the country, then I hope that you will check out the links below, because I'm going to link to their Instagram and their website. And I hope you'll consider at least keeping an eye on them and praying for them, if not supporting them with a monthly donation. So now, back to the video. So first, we need to separate our finances into a couple of categories. So let's think of category one as the fixed costs, the fixed expenses. And these are the things that come out of your paycheck automatically, and they're usually on the same day. They're usually for the same amount. Let's take those and set those aside for another video. Now let's talk about the day-to-day spending, the things that you will definitely spend money on throughout the month, but it's not always on a set date. So think groceries, think entertainment, think gas money. So, when we get groceries, we don't say, okay, we have $300 or $500 this month for groceries, so we're going to go on the first of the month and spend $500. That's not how we do it, at least at our house. It is much more of a sporadic, we're going to have a $100 run to restock, and then maybe mid-month, we're like, okay, we're going to do a big trip, or maybe we just need to go get a gallon of milk. It's much more sporadic. Same thing with entertainment. We don't go do one date and spend all of our entertainment money. We try to spread it out here and there, maybe a cup of coffee, maybe we go to a movie. We haven't been to a movie in years, guys. But you get what I'm saying. Same thing with gas. Those kind of expenses, I need you to gather the data to see, okay, what do we spend in this category? And come up with a number and make sure it falls in line with the rest of your financial picture. Don't just add everything up and be like, well, we spent $2,000 last month, so I guess that's our number. No. Try to figure out what number aligns with your values, but also allows you to take care of your needs and hopefully your wants too. And then once you have that number, I want you to divide by the number of paychecks you get in the month. And then each time you get paid, set up an automatic transfer for that amount. For, if it's $800 and you get paid twice a month, $400 each time you get paid gets automatically transferred to a separate debit account. You could do this with cash too. I just personally recommend doing it through an account. And this account, there's nothing automatic that comes out of this account. It's only for your day-to-day spending. And you have that account that you can just look at that number. And as you go throughout the month, if you're buying things, if you're spending kind of crazily, you're going to see that number go down really fast. And as long as you're keeping an eye on it, you're going to be able to see, okay, we only have $100 left to last the next couple of days. So let's try to see if we can hold off. Can we hold off on that last grocery trip? Do we need to wait another week before we go on that date? And so you can actually start performing analysis based on one number instead of 50 numbers, 50 categories. And those of you who really enjoy riding by the seat of your pants and just say, oh, if there's money in the account, we can do it. You can actually kind of keep that mindset without completely disrupting the rest of your financial life. So what we're doing here is we're creating an artificial stomach that will tell you when it's getting full, or in this case, empty. So that is what I would tell Katie to do in order to kind of rein in her spending and start communicating with her husband. You know, that's another cool aspect of this, is that you're communicating, hey, there's only so much left in the account. Hey, there's so much left in the account. And it shouldn't be something to beat each other over the head about. It should just be like, hey, we are aware where we are. We are aware of when the next influx of money will come into the spending account. And you'll start to develop tricks of your own. For instance, for me, when that money hits our spending account, I take both cars out and try to fill them up as soon as possible so that I know we have a full tank of gas that has already been accounted for out of our spending account. Now, it's super important that you give grace for yourself as you're trying to hone in on what this number is for you. As you're starting to implement this, you're going to mess up. You're going to have some things that fall through the cracks. But what if I'm 50% right? What if you do 50% better controlling your spending because of this technique? Now, hopefully it's going to be more than 50%, but what difference could that make in your life? If you can relate to Katie's story and you recognize that maybe your spending isn't reflecting your values or your goals, I would love to hear your story. I would love to talk to you and strategize with you. And if it's a right fit, I would love to coach you one-on-one. But if that's not you, keep consuming this content. Keep coming back every Tuesday. We're going to upload new videos, and I'm going to do the best I can to provide as much value as I can right here on this channel. So please like and subscribe. And if you do want to talk and have that conversation with me, follow the link in the description for a quick Q&A call. So I hope that you guys are encouraged. I hope that you believe that no habits are unchangeable. And I hope that you found something helpful in this video. Again, we don't judge Katie. We don't, any one of us could do this. The trick is, are we going to take steps to change? Because like we like to say on this channel, you can change your story. So I'll see you guys in the next one.